Good morning and welcome to this particular edition of Burning Issue. It's a Tuesday edition. We are grateful that you found time to tune in and be with us. And of course, I would like to also say that we are not only on 89.9 here in Lusaka on 5FM, but we are also live on our partner radio stations. We are live on Tuta FM in Mansa, that is on 90.7 FM, and they are covering the rest of Wapula province. Also live on Platinum Radio, that is in Ndola on 99.7, covering Copper Belt, and also live in Kabwe, that is on Spice FM, that is on 91.1 FM. We are also live on our Facebook page, that is 5FM Radio Zambia, and don't forget to also follow our conversation live on our YouTube channel. Now, it's only 2 days before the by-elections in Pambash constituency take place, and we have decided that we have a conversation also, but other than that, also discuss national issues. And today we have a party that is participating in one of those two by-elections. And this is Citizens First. And in the studio with me, we'll start with ladies first, is Ambassador Dr. Mwaba Kasese Bota. She is the member of the Central Committee and Chairperson for International Relations. Good to have you, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Zach. Good morning, listeners.
Also in studio is the Secretary General of Citizens First Party, and this is Mr. Vincent Chintu. A pleasure having you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much, Wazaki, and good morning to listeners out there.
Great. First things first, I'm happy that the two of you have showed up, and interesting enough, because obviously Ambassador Dr. Mwaba Kasese Bota, being the chairperson for international relations, we will definitely be getting more information how the party is mobilizing itself internationally, because it's also important. And also the Secretary General, by-elections are just a day away, and you are in Lusaka and not in any of the constituencies that are taking part in the by-elections. Why are you here?
That's a very good question, Wazak. I am here because we are a team. And you know, when you are a team, then you share responsibilities. So we can't all go out to Petauke and leave things hanging here in Lusaka. So I should let you know that the team for President Dr. Hari Kalaba has grown. And we have enough, human resource.
Right.
Yeah. You said you are participating in one by-election.
Right.
Actually, we are participating in two for now.
Okay.
There is a local government by-election also in Western Province.
Western Province, yes, I'm aware of it.
Yes,
right.
There we have a candidate as well.
Okay.
And then, of course, we are not participating in Pambashe because our candidate was disqualified. But we are also in Petauke, and that's where the rest of the members are, including the president and the national chairman. So to answer your question, we can't all be everywhere. We are a team.
Fair enough. Fair response. Now, Madam Mwaba, yours is an interesting position. Tell us more about it. What is your role as Chairperson of International Relations?
Thank you very much. I think to start with, I'm a member of Citizens First, and
Right.
Citizens First has got a constitution, it's got its values, and I subscribe to all those values that are there. The inclusiveness,
Right.
Honesty, the values of trustworthiness, all those things are there. So I am a proud member of Citizens First. Then we have I'm a member of the Central Committee, and this is the governing committee of the party. Of course, our secretariat, the chair, we report through the Secretary General's office.
Right.
And in there, I just don't work on issues of international relations. I work on anything that I'm given by the SG and the president, but also contributing to the collective responsibility of the national issues that we are facing, and that we need to have a position as a citizens first. So to answer the question now, when it comes to the international relations, we are looking at how we are positioning Zambia and how we are advancing Zambia's interests on the international arena, and how immediately we create government in August 2026, we are going to hit the ground running and ensure that we create friendly relations with the neighboring countries, especially right now Zimbabwe, who before was being identified as being the other twin of Zambia. So we are looking at how we are ready to embrace the world and create friendlies between the neighboring countries and ensure that we promote trade with the neighboring countries, but also the entire world as a whole. But at the same time, without compromising on fundamentals of the Zambian constitution, as well as the common good of the Zambian and every Zambian, wherever he is. That Zambian comes first when we start going out. The interest of a Zambian in Shangombo are part of the national relations. The interest of a Zambian in Kaputa, especially right now, we are talking about the M23. That is the Great Lakes region around Lake Tanganyika there. Yeah. So the interests of the Zambian in that area are part of our international relations. So it's a very big portfolio. I mean, we're also talking about what is happening to our sister country far away from us, the United States of America.
That's right.
You know, where we are seeing, of course, there's this shutdown of the diplomacy around the US, you know, where they have just completely tried to say 90 days, we are reviewing our international relations. We are trying to see what it is that America is going to get from our neighbors and the rest of the world. And of course, there is, yesterday we heard about closing down of USAID. When I was listening to CNN, somebody called it, this is apocalyptic, you know? Yeah. So those are the things that we are looking at. And already, I think yesterday, the president made a statement that while we are saddened by what is happening in the pronouncements that have been made by President Trump, we are happy that we are being given lemons, and from the lemons we should be able to make lemonade. I think it's a chance for us, for Zambia, to reintrospect. It's a chance for Zambia to immediately get in the mood of self-preservation as well. It has been too much of depending on aid. It has been too much of giving away our national assets to foreigners at the expense of the Zambians. Talk of the mines, talk of the toll gates. The toll gates right now are being managed by, we've given them away to foreigners. And these are the things that other countries are prioritizing. They are prioritizing their own national interests. And every policy of government must ensure that the interests of the Zambian community take precedence. You know, so for us as citizens first, we are ready to protect the interests of the Zambians. We are ready to grab back the targets from the foreigners who are getting our money right now, because you don't expect somebody to get the targets for free, start getting money before he delivers a service. Everybody works and then they get paid. Have you ever seen a person who starts work today and is given a salary? No one has ever been given a salary on the first day. You know, but for us, we have given away our national assets. It's not just the targets, it's the borders which we have also given away. It's the minerals, the mines, and the minerals are finite assets. They finish. But we have given them away. We are not getting anything. There are no tax. We have given huge tax holidays to foreigners. Is there a Zambian who has been given any tax holiday in Zambia? No one. So why are we prioritizing the foreigners over Zambians? So these are part of the work that I'm doing. Thank you.
Indeed. And I am aware that you come with a wealth of experience in as far as international relations is concerned. We sure hope that we'll get quite a lot from you. I do also know that you have been a permanent resident at the UN for quite some time, so I know you bring quite a lot of experience with that. We'll get more into how Citizen First would handle the situation that has befallen Zambia in as far as aid, that is USAID, is concerned. But then let's get to the Secretary General. Yours is a huge task. You are CEO of the party, literally. How is the party doing in as far as mobilization is concerned, knowing that next year is a big year in as far as Zambia's elections are concerned, and you must be ready for elections and more so ready to take over the government?
You are right, Zach. As the CEO of the party, for sure, those are the plans that one needs to have before you even start working. Citizens First is coming from the previous party, the DP. I know you know it, where our president, Dr. Hari Karaba, participated in the election in 2021.
Right.
And I'm sure we all know that President Karaba came out number 3 out of the 16 candidates who participated in that election.
Yeah.
I think for us, that is what gave us, that push to say we needed to push even more, so that come elections in 2026, we have to be up there. I think our becoming number 3 in those elections is what made the government also to fight us. And you saw us leaving the DP that time and form the party that we are in now, the Citizens First. I can say we have done so much, Wazaki. If you go around the country, you find that I think people are talking about President Hari Karaba. They are saying he's our Moses who is going to help us. They are saying this because I think they have known him from the time he was in the PF government, and they even know how he left the PF, because of what he saw happening in the PF. He was not happy, especially with the corruption that was happening that time. And he said he wanted to side with the people. Actually, for me, that's what encourages me to work with him, because he's a person you can rely on. And I'm sure he's not going to let us down like others have done. So for me, I'm first saying, actually, as a party, we are very lucky that apart from the best manifesto that we have come up with the help even with the members of the party like Dr. Kasese Bota here, we have the best manifesto, I can say. But apart from that, we have the best leadership. The best leadership of the party itself, and the one at the topmost there, President Hari Karaba, is a person that we feel we needed as a country to come and redeem this country. How are we ready as a party? We are ready because I've told you we launched our manifesto to start with last year, and before the end of last year, I'm sure this station covered our convention, which we had. It should have been on the 7th of December last year. So this shows you, Zach, that that's how ready we are. Because, our constitution said you cannot participate in any election as a party. I'm talking about maybe the tripartite election, if you haven't gone to the convention. So for me and my team, we knew that all we needed to do was to make the house in order. Because today, ECZ can go for the general election and the Citizen First won't be doubting, because we have already put our house in order. We already have a president who is going to carry our flag. So that's how ready we are. And what has remained now is to make sure that we mobilize throughout the country. I'm sure you have heard how our chairperson for international relationship, told the country what we are going to do as a country. But there is more that we are doing, to these committees that we have. Those committees that we have are the ones that we are going to work with to deliver whatever we are going to promise the country. And for me, as CEO of the party, I want to make sure that those committee now invites experts like her to join, so that we work together to make sure that all the problems that we are facing, are talked about. And by doing that, then we are going to make sure that every Zambian is participating in what we are going to do as a party. So through this radio, I'm also calling experts in all fields to come through, so that we can add them in these committees, so that we don't waste time like our friends have done, because we're in opposition for 23 years, I'm told, and you see what they have done. It's nothing. So for us, with our government in the background that we know we are going to usher in, we are ready. Even tomorrow, we are not going to waste much of the time, because we'll have put things in place already. So that's how ready we are as a party.
Now let's
Maybe just to add there,
yeah.
I think as the Secretary General said, Citizens First is actually the fastest growing party at the moment. It is the fastest growing party. We are getting so many people coming in every day to wanting to join us. And he has already talked about, we have got a very good leader. I think we've got beautiful leadership. The leadership is not just President Harry Kalava. I think it's the entire team of the MCC and, of course, the SG. But President Harry Kalava, as the flag carrier for Citizens First, he is the most marketable candidate that we have at the moment on the electoral front. He's talked about how I got to know President Harry Kalava when he was foreign minister and I was ambassador. And I was just so taken by him, by his humility, where he comes to me and, or maybe to him, I greeted him, I was taking him to the meeting. And the first thing he said to me is, Ambassador, please teach me. I've never heard a minister who speaks like that. And he says, if I make a mistake, it's you who's going to be culpable. I've never heard anyone who speaks like that. I think there are only two people, the late President Michael Sata and now President Harry Kalava, who respects the civil service so that he knows that the civil service is the engine of development of the country. That once you destroy the civil service, as the case is right now with our friends in government, that's why the country is now in the ICU. If I go back to my medicine, we are literally in the ICU because the civil service has been destroyed. But we know that with President Harry Kalava, the civil service is going to be resuscitated. It will not just be resuscitated, it will be, we are going to oil it, we are going to pothole it and ensure that it grows and it's able to deliver and ensure productivity of the country as the case should be.
Let's get to the fact that your candidate for Pambashe by-election has been disqualified, and as Citizens First, this doesn't sit well in your public relations. What happened?
Yes, you are right. Our candidate, Mr. Ezekiel Kayumba, who intended to stand in Pambashe, was disqualified, I think, on the 7th of January, when we were filing in the nominations.
Okay.
Yeah, he made a mistake, of course, because he left his voter's card, the original voter's card, home. I don't know why he did that, but when they got to the returning officer handing him the documents, of course, he discovered that one of the documents, which was the voter's card, was expired. It was for 2011 or so. So they were given time to make sure that they bring in a certified voter's card for 2021.
Right.
Yeah, so he managed to call home, and then they managed to find the card in his drawer somewhere. And because it needed to be certified, they had to rush to the police station to have it certified, which they did. And then, today, Zach, there is easy way of communicating. They used WhatsApp to take a picture and send it to the returning officer.
Right.
So the returning officer was shown that that certified copy, but he still insisted it wasn't clear. But what they did, they said, since we have given us time, they had to run around to make sure that they got a clearer copy and have it certified within Pambashe at a local court.
Right.
Yeah, so that is what they did. And at the end of the day, the returning officer accepted the nominations. And our candidate also was made to pay the 15,000 kwacha as a nomination fee.
Right.
Yeah, in the process, I remember he said he was given back the 5,000 kwacha because he's a man, living with a disability.
Okay.
Yeah, so he paid only 10,000 kwacha.
Right.
But before he could even be, given a receipt for that, after they had captured the pictures, all that process of even checking the people who are escorting you.
Right.
Yes. Then he was told they had taken too much time to submit their document, especially the same voter's card. And then he was told that his papers were invalid. Yes, so it happened that way, and you saw the support that we had there, and people were really waiting to see that Citizen First was going to have the first, candidate from Luapula province, where the president is coming from. So that did not sit well with our supporters who were there. So it took the president to calm them down to say, don't make any scene here. We are a law-abiding party. And he talked to them to say, we are going to make sure that we seek guidance from the courts, since this issue, it's not for us to decide.
Right.
Yes, so that's how he calmed them down. So I think the following few days, we managed to file the complaint with the High Court, and we filed in a petition. I should report to you and the country at large, Zach, that our petition was yesterday thrown out by the High Court. Yes, it was.
And what are the reasons for?
Yeah, there are reasons. They are saying the returning officer did his job because we presented an invalid or an expired voter's card. And though we made that effort to have one certified through WhatsApp and through the local court, that could not carry any weight because we had wasted enough time. And in the first place, we had to take in a certified copy that was expired.
So the certified copy that was asked, that you were given time on to bring was a valid
one. Yes, to take a picture of the same one, which was in Mansa, certified in Mansa and sent through WhatsApp. And then that wasn't accepted, so we had to take another picture, a clear one, and then go to the office of the local court, the local magistrate court in Pambashe, who certified it through WhatsApp. Whereby you take you would make a video call, and then you are seeing the original here. They turn it around and see that what is appearing here is what is on the copy. Yeah, so that is what wasn't also accepted by the High Court. They said because the way it was certified, it wasn't certified in a good way. We need the magistrate needed to have the original copy there so that he could do certify it. So on those grounds, our petition was thrown out. Yeah, but for us as a party, I don't think we have lost anything. We have done what we could have done. Being law-abiding, citizens, we are not going to argue with the courts. We made a mistake. We should accept by taking in, a copy that was expired. But we thought the courts, the ECZ is not there to punish anyone because he did not have the original copy. Because what I can tell you, Zach, is that they even checked in their system and saw that the man was a registered voter as per 2021.
Yeah.
Yes, because he stood in the same constituents on DP that time. So they verified to say he was really a registered voter. And what the constitution says, Doc, about the same is that someone has to be a registered voter. You see?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you can say. Even the ECZ, they make sure that they check their system.
I think the Electoral Commission of Zambia is definitely using underhand methods to advantage the ruling party, because all of them there are UPND, That is why we've been saying take people with the necessary competencies. Don't use a lens of the political affiliation, the lens of the region where one is coming from. Don't use the lens of religion, where one is coming from. Use the lens of a Zambian and the right competencies. You cannot have people who are applying to stand on UPND as commissioners at the Electoral Commission of Zambia. The language says one must be a registered voter. Does the language say one must carry a valid registered voter on him 100% of the time? It doesn't. So here, I think ECZ must come clean and just declare their interest. They want the ruling party to win all the by-elections. They are actually putting them in a vantage position to work very little and get the results and win the elections.
Are there any plans to further appeal that judgment?
Yeah, I think for now we are yet to decide as a party whether we are going to further this issue, because it's not me as Secretary General to make that decision just here and then. But we will get back to you, the media, and tell you what we are going to do about it.
Sure. But we will engage ECZ. Electoral Commission of Zambia needs to tell us what they expect and what this language means. Because a language as explicit as being a registered voter, who are they to start changing the definition of that language? It's very simple. Even a grade 6 person can understand that. But those claim to be degree holders, and then they can fail to understand this simple line of must be a registered voter. They checked their records using the card that was presented via social media, and they said that they checked it was really him. So what was the issue there for them to delay this? So we need to engage. We are definitely going to engage them because this should never, ever happen again.
So let's now talk Petauke Central, where everything else is ready. You are set for the by-election. How are you doing? Where are you drawing your confidence of winning it?
Well, if you saw yesterday's, going in Petauke by our President Dr. Hari Karaba, I'm sure you saw the reception that he received. And I'm sure from the pictures we can tell that really people want that change. And as Citizens First, we have been in Petauke for some time now. We have been, meeting people. Our chairman, Honorable Revison Mumba, is a Petauke man who has been there. And in the time of UNIP, he has been there. Even time of MMD, he was even a district governor. So
he was even a member of parliament.
Exactly. Yes, from Zanzara.
Yeah.
And Minister of Health. So he knows that area very well, and it is him who is standing in for President Hari Karaba to be a witness to say, me, I'm telling you, people of Petauke, let's see, put in Parliament our candidate for Citizen First, who is Carlos Chama. Carlos Chama is a local name in Petauke now because of what he has done, and a lot of people have received him so well. So we are very sure that we are getting that seat. Of course, we are aware of the Mingarato that is at play. Always, this government will play Mingarato here and there. We have seen what is happening. They go as far as telling the people that if you don't vote our candidate from the UPND, then social cash transfer will stop coming to this constituency. So those are the same Ingaratos that they are playing. But I'm sure people know that it is not the UPND government that brought that social cash transfer. Actually, if I remember very well, it was President Hari Kalaba, I'm sure, who signed for that when it from the inception. You see, so I think these are government projects that goes on and on. It's not because you have a different candidate from the opposition, then you are going to lose out on social cash transfer. That is a lie. Actually, maybe with the coming of a new president, it can even be improved than the way it is right now. So, Zaki, those are some of the Mingaratos that this government, because they want to make sure that they remain in power, though dubiously.
Yeah, and the former member of parliament for Petauke Central has officially endorsed the ruling party candidate in Petauke Central. How is this affecting you as citizens?
Well, that is a surprise to me, but I saw on social media that he is elected after a long time.
No, I mean Doris Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
Case,
I
yeah.
thought you meant JJ
No,
Banda.
I mean Doris Lee, who's I think she was in Petauke a day or two ago.
Exactly.
And making those endorsements. That should really become as a challenge for the party, no?
No, actually, before Doctor comes in,
Yeah.
I don't think that is a challenge, because we are not dealing with the children. We are dealing with people who understand things. They know, the people of Petauke knows what they are going through, and someone to come out and endorse someone who brought to endorse a party that brought those miseries to the people of Petauke. I think that is that is an insult to them. And like I said earlier, I think people are old enough to judge what is good and what is bad. I think Doctor can come in.
Yeah, Doc.
I think one thing that we are proud of as Zambians is that we show so much respect to our leaders, current and former leaders. And that is how it should be. So Honorable Dora Siria, or Dr. Siria, did a lot. She's done a lot for Zambia. She was served as a minister, deputy ambassador, and she held various government positions, including being a very good newscaster. But she represented the people of Petauke for more than 2 terms, I think. Yeah. But the same people of Petauke decided that they have had enough, and they did not vote for her in the last election. And when the people of Zambia say, we have done contribution, we appreciate, now we are changing, let somebody else come. I think it is just that, So whatever she has done, the endorsement there, as the SG has said, is really now and void, because the people know what they're going through, and how bad can you be for the things to be the way they are.
Now, let's get back to the national issues that are of pressing nature. USAID situation, it's been cut off this country. And of course, that simply means that the health sector is the most affected. And Doc, here you have a medical background, and you understand that the economy thrives on a country that is in good health. And once that is compromised, everything else is compromised. This is a situation that has befallen us. And I know that this is a global matter, but how then should we respond as a country to this issue?
Thank you very much for that. I worked for USAID.
Yes.
I worked with them for 3.5 years.
Wow.
Before I went to the UN as Zambia's ambassador there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, America is a sovereign state, and every sovereign state, as I had said in my preamble, is that they prioritize the national interests, And President Donald Trump has decided to put a halt on international relations, especially using the USAID, which is the donor wing, and donor wing. I mean, USAID has got a budget of $72 billion, the whole worldwide. But of course, we know some monies most of it go to the developing countries, and Zambia has been a beneficiary. And the works of USAID can speak for themselves, especially here in Zambia. They are involved in growing the economy, working with the private sector. They are involved in the health services, reproductive health services, and PEPFAR, which PEPFAR is both under USAID, it's also under CDC, and it's also managed by Department of Defense. They have a DOD wing here in Zambia where they are working with our military under PEPFAR. So the work they have done in Zambia is phenomenal. I can actually say that PEPFAR transformed the face of HIV and AIDS in Zambia. They were the first ones to put money on the table and say, let's provide life-saving medicines to the people who have got HIV. And they were instrumental in funding the Global Fund for HIV and AIDS. Then the others started coming in. So what is happening there is, of course, we are watching, we are seeing, but at the end of the day, we also have to take responsibility, We appreciate what they have done for us. And now they are saying, we are relooking what we have done for you. We'll come back to you. So now it's also time for us to look. I think they're reminding us to check our foreign policy. What is it that we are doing ourselves in Zambia? So for the reproductive health, for health issues, the government must immediately put money in NEMA, because already they want to close down NEMA. How much money has the government put in NEMA? Very negligible. We ourselves have been contributing to NEMA, But when NEMA was it was created, it was expected that NEMA was going to bridge that gap of health financing so that the government spends less on health services, But when NEMA came in, the government let go of putting money in NEMA. I don't know what they are focusing on, procurement of drugs, which go missing every day. So now that we have this catastrophe, I think they really need to tighten the tap and ensure that where they are losing money, they don't lose money anymore. They need to first bring back, all these medications, the containers that have got drugs and all that. And they need to also resolve the issues of damages that they're being given. Is it $1 million, for storage and all? Yeah. I think we can no longer afford to continue being as careless as we have been. We need to change immediately. So NEMA is a priority. They must fund it immediately.
But then the question is, in terms of aid that comes through medical aid, in this case, HIV drugs or prevention drugs. I mean, these are a lot of money. Is this government or is our government or as a country, do you think that we can actually manage to sustain this?
Zambia has the capacity to do that, except we do not manage our economic resources efficiently. We have given away our domestic resource avenues. The monies that we are collecting at the border, Kasumbalesa border post, how much do we collect per day? No one has even made a comparison of what we are collecting and what we are going to lose out. Why would you go into Kasumbalesa border post, which was working perfectly well, and you introduce a private company to go in and start managing that. What is the incentive for that? You know, we're still talking about. I think even there's another the target in all these targets. The targets were introduced by President Michael Satta's government as a source for revenue collection, so that it can boost the revenues for doing the roads and maintaining roads, because he had a very ambitious infrastructure development vision, you know. And he worked so hard. The people of Zambia worked hard to ensure that they put up these targets. When President Lungu took over, they continued with putting up the targets. You know, the targets recruited Zambians. The targets would tell us how much money they made. Last year, they told us they made 3 billion kwacha from the targets. 2023, against the projection of 2.3 billion kwacha. You know, so they actually overshoot the projection by 700 million. They got 3 billion kwacha. You know, this year no one has told us how much money the targets made in 2024. And can the Auditor General go in and audit our national asset, how the performance of this national asset, you know? And for the targets, the people who put in money, it's the workers' compensation put in, and NAPSA would put in about 300 million.
Yeah.
Workers' compensation put in 50 million. So why don't they get the Zambian companies, the parastatals, to go in and start collecting these finances? Because then there will be transparency and accountability. We can see how much they are collecting. We can see the shortfall. We can see where Zambia needs to come in. But you give away our targets before the roads are completed, and you give them away for 25 years. 25 years, I don't know, you'll be alive.
So, Doc, actually, Zach, that is not the only way where we are losing resources as a country. The mining sector, you know, it has been there for so long, and it's one of the areas where we get a carry to something as a country. But we can get even more if we did what Magufuli did in Tanzania. The taxes that these people are paying have even been reduced by this government. For them, their argument is we needed to have more, to attract more investors so that we can produce more copper. Now, in producing the copper, Zach, we employ the Zambians. You should ask me how much they are getting. It is change. 1,500 kwacha, you know, per month. As a miner, that's what you are getting. What can you do with that money in that economy? And that is the only benefit that we are getting as a country, because this money is always externalized. You see? Now imagine if we said we went the way of Magufuli and said this mining congruents should be paying, you know, the taxes that befits what they are mining. You are going to see that we are going to have even more money to put even in the health sector, like you are saying. I think for me, I am happy with what President Trump has done. But because for us as a government, the Zambian government today, for them, they are still trying to negotiate with him to see whether he can continue. But that's a global thing. The Americans, that's their taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
They have decided to say this is what we are going to do.
But maybe government is taking a precautious approach, knowing that it's a lot of Zambians that are working for these institutions, PEPFAR, USAID, and CDC. A lot of Zambians are employed there, and this abrupt cut off really leaves them in limbo. But then what should be the approach other than what the government is doing in negotiate and maybe, you know, ask that it be done in a phased way? How else would you suggest that government should do?
You know, what I've seen is that the way Trump has done it, he's doing it for the Americans. But for us, we do it for the foreigners. That's the difference. I'll give you an example of the issue of electricity, Bazak. Most of the times your radio station is off, not because you want, but because you may not afford to run this station on gensets. It's very difficult and very expensive. Now you have a country that does not want to prioritize you as citizens, but they continue exporting power to Namibia. The other day, I'm sure you saw it, because they have been refusing that, they haven't been exporting, and the Namibian envoy was or everywhere on social media, thanking the Zambian government for the continued support in electricity. Even when Zambians are in the dark, you still continue to provide for us. You see the difference. This government is not there for the Zambians. It is there for the foreigners. If you ask me today, people can call now to see what repercussions has this done to the Zambians. You'll find that a lot of people have even died. They have died because of several ways. Because someone had a business doing maybe welding at the market, and he had even gotten in Congole from that, credit facility, and then he can't pay back because there is no more business, and looking at the problem that he's facing, people just end up killing themselves. These are the problems, madam, you're talking about, that we have issues
Yeah.
that needs to be talked to as a country, because we have different problems that we are facing, because some of them are inflicted by this government. They are not making the decisions that are favoring Zambians, but they are favoring foreigners.
We have no control
So my
over.
bigger question is, how do we save the jobs of the people that have been employed, and many Zambians have been employed in these organizations?
It's not just the Zambians who have lost jobs. World over, people have lost jobs. USAID, I think for Africa, maybe we were, the USAID funds a lot of countries, and all those people, their jobs are at stake right now, because there is, yesterday, I think the people in Washington were told to go home, So even the Americans themselves, they are not working, because it employs a lot of Americans. And there is a whole industry that was created around USAID for all these contractors that go to work in different countries. So the job losses, if depending on the decision that President Trump makes, there will be major catastrophic losses. That one is a fact. And the other fact
Again,
is
do we
that
have the capacity to
Zambia
save those jobs?
has no control over American policies. The Americans themselves make the policies. Of course, we can engage them and tell them, no, help us here. But remember, what is happening is not just for Zambia. It's starting in the US itself, where their own people are losing jobs. So it's a wait and see situation. We are hoping that President Trump is going to reopen USAID, and after 90 days, when they check everything, we are hoping that they are going to rescind the decisions that have been made. But while these things are happening, it's a wake-up call for us as Zambia. Job losses will be there. And it's not just the American government that has made Zambians to lose jobs. It's the Zambian government that started to make Zambians lose jobs. The minute we said electricity, there is no electricity because we have a drought. In a drought situation, that's an emergency. And in an emergency, a responsible government comes in and provides a buffer for its people. They should have gone in and bought electricity for Zambia at no cost, no increased cost to the Zambian. They should have gone and borrowed electricity. Our neighbor Zimbabwe is getting electricity from Mozambique. Zambia could not do that. People lost jobs. My child, remember, she's been coming here talking about mental health. She can no longer provide that service. And so it's the government of Zambia that is making people to lose jobs. So before we even start talking about the job losses because of Trump, let's talk about the job losses because of President HH's policies here in Zambia.
But as far as importation of power from Mozambique, and I think it's public information that we couldn't, for reasons being the previous regime left a lot of debt on that importation
Even
of
Zimbabwe
power.
had a lot of debt. Even Zimbabwe, it's because we do not know how to talk to our neighbors. Running a government is always you go and borrow. China has been borrowing from the US. The US borrows from China. The last time I checked, the US government had more credit with China than any other country on earth. That is the US that is providing aid to us. It was borrowing from China. It had credit with China, So those things happen. But you still go in and negotiate because these are longer term loans. You continue and this is an emergency situation. So in an emergency, your neighbor cannot say, no, I'll let you starve. Until you pay back the midi meal you bought you borrowed last year, or the money you got for midi meal. They will still give you midi meal because at the end of the day, the turbines in Mozambique are still turning and they need to sell the electricity. So they would rather sell the electricity than let it just go to waste. So we just didn't indicate. And now they have got these emergency tariffs where for us, we are buying power we pay 500 kwacha, they give us 65 units. But there is a company which they have given power. It will be supplying power to Democratic Republic of Congo. And this one is not paying the same tariffs. It's actually, they have given them reduced tariffs than the Zambians. So what barometer are they using to determine that the Zambians are better off than the private and the foreigners?
I know also that your president, Mr. Hari Kalaba, did indicate in the statement concerning this matter that it's time this government re-looked at the pharmaceuticals. What really does it mean?
We have got a lot of educated medical personnel in Zambia. We've got a lot of doctors who cannot be absorbed by the government establishment. But the government has not provided an enabling environment for private sector care to thrive, Then we have got the nurses, we've got the pharmacists who are trained in Zambia and outside. All those have no jobs. We have got the biomedical engineers. For biomedical engineering, we have not even a single establishment under Ministry of Health. But these are the young boys and girls who are able to make CT scans. They can make just today, They can go and make an X-ray machine, a portable X-ray machine, using with solar, So we've got software engineers in biomedicine. And all these people have no jobs. They're just sitting at home. So the government needs to utilize this skill. This is the skill that is going to boost the pharmaceutical industry. For our manifesto, when you look at our manifesto, we have prioritized growing the industry base. And the industrial base, we have focused on agriculture, because that is the competitive edge that we have. 80% of our people are involved or employed in agriculture. We have got mining, and the mining is not just the Jerabos. Our children are now involved in this nano extraction of whatever, this sophisticated language of
artisanal mining.
Yes. So we have got all that industry can be boosted, and we can have so much money in Zambia that would not even, we can reduce aid to less than 99%. We can that is the government's funding of our budget can increase to even 99% of the budget. We have got the resources, we just don't utilize them. So for us, then we are prioritizing that biomedical industry, which involves pharmaceuticals as well. It's there in our manifesto, and it's there in black and white. That is why we have said, for us, we are prioritizing innovation, we are prioritizing science and technology, and these are going to be of course, they'll be with a substantive minister, but the president wants to ensure that he has a bird's eye view on this institution, because he is in a hurry to create jobs for the youth. He's in a hurry to see development in Zambia.
This is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue here on 5FM Radio. My guests are Ambassador Dr. Mwaba Kasese Bota. She is the member of the Central Committee and Chairperson for International Relations under the Citizens First Party. And also Mr. Vincent Chintu, Secretary General of the Citizens First. These two are my guests this morning on the burning issue. We will be opening the phone lines on 0955-221515 for you to be a part of this conversation in case you would like to ask questions or indeed make contributions. You are welcome on the number 0955-221515. And also you can send us a comment on our Facebook page, and our Facebook page is 5FM Radio Zambia. You can leave us a comment or indeed a question, and we'll be glad to read that. Also, let me remind you quickly that we are also live on our partner radio stations. We are live on Tuta FM in Mansa, covering the rest of Luapula province on 90.7 FM. Also live on Platinum Radio in Ndola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt as well on 99.7. Also live in Central Province in Kabwe, to be precise. That is on Spice FM on 91.1 FM. And so we'll take your phone calls now, and we have a caller. Let's take this one. Good morning, and good morning to you. Welcome to the program. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, this is Moses. Ma'am, good morning, and the gentleman.
Good morning, Moses.
Yes, yes. Am I clear?
Yes, please
Very
go
clear.
ahead.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. I think for me, it's important that you brought the citizen officials on the program today. My desire is that we, as a citizen, as we go towards the 2026, we must listen more from these our leaders who are vying to lead us, so that we are able to vote from an informed decision. I think quickly, I was a little bit disappointed with my president Wakalava when he said that, when we come as citizens, we are going to cancel that contract, which is between ZESCO and Namibia. Well, cancelling, for me, as a person who needs this respectivity, at the most, I think I can get excited, but at the same time, as leaders, I think you must be able to be able to reason with this. Why that contract, which was signed in 2020, they have continued supplying, because this is the business entity, and they have to make a business, and a company needs to continue running. So my appeal to you and my advisor, don't be like the UPND in the opposition, who promised everything and painted their colleagues black. That is why even today it's very difficult, for us as citizens to reason with them on certain issues when we see them struggling. Even on that aid, as I conclude, the American aid, which Trump has promised that he might cut, so it will be on review for 3 months for Africa and Zambia included. Don't rejoice as opposition to say, hey, it is our own managers, Banda boutique, so that but voted. There are certain things that we need to agree together as citizens, as a country, even as you leaders. Agree together and say, no. Yes, we understand, but I think at the moment we'll take the position of the government that it is important that the government engages the U.S. government so that they give us at least a little bit of time. And for Zamarira, problem in my opposition, Mukondwera, Bankala Mutika Pasan chance. So certain things we must be able to agree together. Very, very important. You lose nothing. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Moses, for your contribution. We'll take some more on 0955-221515. That's the number you can call us on. Let me go to a Facebook page because we have an interesting message on Facebook. It's from Henry Mavimba. So Henry Mavimba says, I'm sure the leadership in Zambia knew from inception that Trump's America First outlook meant disruption of the support chain of the support chain in foreign aid that supports wide-ranging projects among others, disease response through PEPFAR, girl education, and free school lunches. Now, I also believe tackling such problems, leadership should be proactive domestic resource mobilization to avoid being between sixes and sevens, and above all, deliberately encourage research into better ways of addressing the status quo. What do we expect from Citizens First to come out of these problems? Your name of the party speaks a lot of potential hope for Zambia, right? Take note of that. Let me give you a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Mr. Zach?
Not too bad, thank you. You're sounding very low, though. Your name?
My name is Colin.
Collins. Are you using your hands-free kit or?
No, I'm just using the
Okay. All right. Please speak up and please go ahead.
Okay, let me just try to speak up because I'm sure the network is bad. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, Jess.
Good morning.
Thank you.
We didn't even get his name.
Collins.
Oh,
My
Collins.
name is Colin.
Oh, Collins. Okay.
For me, one thing I don't like about politics of these days, it is where the politicians, if they don't have anything to promise Zambian people, they resort to go to the tribalism. Tribalism is very bad. And when you find a leader, a well-educated person, he starts campaigning along tribal lines, just know that these are disasters. I remember one time I was telling your president, I said, don't concentrate on what Hakainde promised the Zambian people. You as a party, you as the president of the political party, can you also promise the Zambian people what you want to do on this country? If the President HH promised Zambian people a bag of milk at 50 pacha, when you know that he has failed, can you promise you yourself as a party to say, when we come into power, we are going to give you at 30 pacha? If you have harmony, because as far as I know, President HH, when he was promising people, and by the way, promising is not an offense. I can promise you, and I don't fulfill my promise. I have never committed any offense. It's for you to reason, to say, at this age, where would you find a new Miwati 50 water? When you come to electricity, they are telling you to say, when we wanted to buy power from Mozambique, they said you have got a lot of Congolese here. Your previous government left a lot of Congolese. And we are hearing that there is a memorandum of understanding which they signed, Zambian government and Namibia, to supply the power that side. And you cannot breach that. And these are power which you cannot hold like water. You are not supplying Zambian people this power, but you are supplying to the Namibia. It's only that the UPND government or the UPND media, they don't have people who can explain properly how this power is being supplied to that country. Even in PF, they were supplying power. Well, we don't have power here. But here we are. We want to be blackmailed by you politicians. To say, no, how would you supply power to this country when you want to make us without power? But you know that power, you cannot keep it like water. You know very well.
Thank you, Collins. Thank you very much. Contribution. Let me, at this point, seek your reactions to these phone calls. Maybe we'll start with SG.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I will dwell on Collins and also with this one. I think Moses who said
right.
He was disappointed with President Hari Karaba, who said he was going to cancel the contract for exporting electricity
right.
to these countries, because it is not only Namibia that is receiving our electricity. I think some of the Zambians might be happy that they are not, receiving electricity as they should. But I know the majority who we are speaking for would want to have this electricity that we are exporting. you can hear from Collins is saying actually it is not a good thing that we can cancel that contract. It means he's happy that we are able to export even when we don't have. Zach, from your home, you can only give what you have. If you give what you don't have, then people will be suspecting that maybe win, because the Zambians are suffering, and it is Zambians first. Like for us as citizens first, like our name, we want to make sure that before we export, we make sure that our Zambians have got enough. Then the excess is what we do at. We do export. So Collins, on that one, these things have happened before, where Zamtel was sold, and the President Sata said you cannot touch Zamtel, a property of the country which is so important. You said it. And when he came into power, like he promised during campaigns, he had to get back Zamtel. And there is nothing sinister to cancel a contract when your own Zambians do not have electricity. I don't know what you say, Doc.
And I think, as you've rightly said, you can only sell what you have. The government of Zambia's foreign policy, which only changed with the UPND government, is that Zambians' interests and welfare take precedence. So if my interests take precedence, why should I stay for 72 hours without power? And since you have mentioned it, Collins, let me tell you what I did today, this morning. I had to go to Nasoko Hospital and ask for water because we didn't have power for 26 hours. From yesterday, 05, we didn't have power. I went to get water. As educated as I am, I pride myself, I'm a medical doctor and a diplomat, to go and get water in a bucket so that my husband can bath. I went back to get water for my child to bath and go to school. Then I also went back to get another bucket for me to bath and come here because we didn't have power. How do you stay for over 24 hours without power as if you are in a war situation? No country has ever had a situation like this. And even the Namibians know that Zambia is in a dire state. The Namibia is not a foreigner, it's a sister country. We talk to them every day. Even Mozambique, although I'm no longer in government, I talk to the people in Mozambique. That's how I even knew that Zimbabwe was getting power from Mozambique, because they told me. They even checked the rates of the credit that we had. So nobody can come and tell us that no, Mozambique refused. Mozambique never refused. I can challenge them to bring Mozambique here and tell us whether Mozambique refused. Because in international relations, you always dialogue. It's an issue of dialogue. And when you go to a dialogue table, I've never seen a dialogue table where you come back without winning something. That means our people are not negotiators. Then ZESCO continuing to sell electricity to Namibia. We can enforce what we call a force majeure because we're in a crisis situation. This is a catastrophic situation. Maybe people don't understand it, but it is so bad. It has never happened in the history of Zambia. Even with PF, we went up to 10 hours without power, not 72 hours without power. Zimbabwe was drawing water from the same resources as us. They never went to 72 hours without power. But us, we are doing that. Then somebody can come and start defending things that should not even be defended. Namibians have power. Zambians don't have power. Give to the children first, before you give to the others. That is just how it works.
Henry Mavimba, he mentioned to say, how are you going to do it as citizens first? Are you going to make sure that all these problems we are facing, you are able to aid issues and everything? I will start by explaining to Mavimba about citizens first. Citizens first, as we have said already, we are prioritizing industries. Citizens first, I'm sure you have heard the president talking, anyone from our party. We are saying no country has developed without industries. Our friends, of course, I don't know their policies because they are doing exactly the different, the opposite. You see, when you want to bring the industries, for them, they want to sell the industries and the stuff. Citizens First in Power, we want to bring back the industries because we know that the industries, the moment we bring our industries, all these raw materials that come from our agriculture and then the mining are going to be used in our industries. It means that we are going to create a lot of jobs with these industries. Once we create a lot of jobs, we are going to make money using the same industries, the same agriculture sector, the same mining sector, and also the tourism sector. Zach, these are the roots of the Citizens First tree. You know, take it that we are a tree, Citizens First. And as a country, we are a tree. And this tree is going to bear fruits when we take care of the fourth roots that we have mentioned: the industries, the agriculture sector, the mining sector, and tourism. This is what we have picked. And we know that these are money, spinning industries. Once you put money into agriculture, you are going to create employment to start with. You are going to deal with the food security, and then you are going to bring in the much needed, forex. You've seen how our friends did. They found the maize which were in the FRA, sheds. And for them, because they are business people, they said, no, this is money that we have to sell. And you saw, Zach, that decision of selling the maize has brought us where we are now, because there is no any maize in our sheds because we have to import now from the countries that we exported our maize to. I'm just trying to explain how these four routes can bring in money in the country. And Henry, just mining itself, there is a lot of money that has been lost that we don't see as a country. But we are saying, no, we are bringing these investors, and they only externalize the money. As Zambians, we have never been, benefiting as we should. All we benefit is that batata banani uko bali bombereko kumaini babomba banaka, and nothing to show to say this is what I earned. But we want to tell the Zambians to say these minerals were given to you by God. Make use of them. If you cannot use them as per se, it's better you even leave them for your next generation to come and mine them. And because we have wasted this resource, Zach, very much. We have wasted the minerals that God has given us. Citizens First in Power, you are going to see less export of these minerals in raw form. We want to tell those who would want to use these minerals to set the industries here in Zambia so that we don't export jobs. Because by exporting copper going to Europe, it means we are giving jobs to those people who are working in those industries in Europe. We are going to put our foot down as Trump has done. And I know my president, Dr. Hari Karaba, is going to do it. We are also going to say no more export of these minerals in raw form. We want these industries, those who want these things, to come and set industries here so that we put the goods and then we sell the goods to these other countries. That we are going to do also with the agriculture. The maize that we produce, we are going to put our foot down to say, let's add value to this maize so that we make the cornflakes, and cornflakes should be now supplied to ShopRite, not the way it is done. Maize is exported, they make the cornflakes, and then twaana mukushitaimwe benena bazaki na ine turepita matroli na tubika ma cornflakes. Let those things be produced from here. Then we are going to enjoy what God has given us as Zambians, because we are going to add value, and in adding value, you want Zambian to work in that industry so that we produce whatever we want to produce.
Yeah, I think the comment by Mavimba is a very good comment. I know even Collins did make some good comments. Even the one where we have differed, it was also a good comment. Yeah. The thing of increasing domestic mobilization, I think Citizens First has recognized two things. The fact is that we are in a country with very heavy unemployment, very high unemployment levels, especially for our youth. We have also recognized the poor utilization of our resources. We are not maximizing the efficiencies of the resources that God has given us. And as Citizens First, as the Secretary General has said, these two things are actually what are forming the hallmark of our manifesto. Domestic resource mobilization does not mean taxing your people to death as the matter is right now. There are too many taxes. The companies, I don't know, Zach, how 5FM is managing. Even just the licenses, I think there are like 50 licenses you have to pay for before you can start functioning. So the ease of doing business has been thrown away through the window. Zambia used to be rated as one of the best countries in the world for ease of doing business. It's no longer the same. People are being taxed every day as part of domestic resource mobilization. But the foreign countries are not being taxed. I mean, the foreign nationals are not being taxed. The electricity that will start going, I don't know, maybe it has already started going to Congo DR. They are paying, the exporters are paying less than I am paying. So who are we prioritizing? So domestic resource mobilization is very haphazard in the current government. But for us, we have said we are going to enhance that. And the other thing of taxing people to death is also the council rates. These killer rates that have been given, where they find they see a house in Rhodes Park, and they say this house is 5 million kwacha, and they say the taxable rate is this much. I don't know what we are doing. Please, let's first think of our people. So for us, domestic resource mobilization is very broad. Yes, we're not saying we will not tax you, we'll tax you. The land rates, you will pay the land rates. But we'll make sure that your cost of living is sufficient even after the taxes. We'll make sure that your disposable income, after you've done the necessary basics, at least something remains for you to even go on holiday, go to Livingstone, with your family and all that, which we are not doing at the moment. So we are going to, he has talked about the mining, and mining it's two things. We're talking about first the act of getting the minerals from the soil, and the Zambians should not just work for the mines. We want the mines to work for the Zambians. My father worked for the mines for so long, until he even developed a disease because of mining. But the mines never worked for him. For us, we want the mines to work for you. So we are prioritizing all these artisanal mining, We don't want to, the Zambians are now called illegal miners in our own country. When on my farm, I decide to take a bit of copper, I'm called an illegal miner. These guys, they own the land, So we need to prioritize. There are so many avenues which we are going to use to get, and we want Zambians to own these big mines that we have in Zambia, so that there's less externalization of the money from the mines.
Thank you very much for your responses. Well, let me remind our listeners that this is the Tuesday edition of The Burning Issue. Our guest today is the Citizens First, and in studio we have Ambassador Dr. Mwaba Kasese Bota, who is the member of the Central Committee and Chairperson for International Relations under the Citizens First, and also Mr. Vincent Chintu, who is the Secretary General of the party. And we're taking your calls on 0955221515. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Well, we can hardly hear you. Good morning. Could you kindly speak up, please? Yeah, maybe try and call us back on 0955221515. This is the number that you are getting us on if you'd like to come through. Let's take this one. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My
name is Kapambwe, the spokesperson for Ruapura. Arrival.
Kapambwe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Are you-
into Mudishan.
vakapambwe tirepola mulishana imwe
Awe pano no abari mpoka vavene vafuriri amajanki phone so namba yenu
vana venu mwira veta majanki vana venu vafwaireni amasolutions vambe okuvomba
Vakapambwe muletu tumina kuisa.
awe inendi kumatero
Emkwai. Konkanya nipone riashu vakapambwe.
mukwai vankashandi uko navonga vatishani navo mfana venoko
Varesare tusunga vane mulishana na imwe.
awo tirive bwino lesa venemo
Twatasha mkwai.
imeni kabiri muikala pamulandu wa kutila ini opportunity yabakalaba kyale ngeri amazamya lero kutula mulandu wa kuyatendo muntu ushikwete experience ikintu kyonse kirakwata experience ubo bujeli kabambike kubyererwa mbokubomba nambokubomba bati kwatemu batinka bazaki twagukira kita ero nomba bwamfika pamwera so kuyatendo omuntu ushashiba pa governance iri yonse lwadi kwati lube mbulwa chitike so ama benefit yabu tushi emo yale tikira nomba kati tumonelero bakalaba eva ishiba bantu bambire ukubomba mu government civil servant babomba shani ushebu member of parliament babomba shani ushebu minister babomba shani ushenga wangira mu parliament as a president uti waikala pesa valya eva kwetevye opportunity ya kumona kuti nga vaisa valya vakala vaikala popi kupitapo mulandu wako vati vintu vyonse valishiva ayishuwa kwena kuti wakati mufyashuwa vabwino wakuyakula abantu bambi baleshita injo yabana babanobe panepo lero leshaku twalipwisha damalaisha mulashisha balikene mulashisha malaisi lomba lefepya basosha bala kuna media baisazala benya tawo mwabomba kwebo tuleshita injo izanimwe ushakuti baisa kuitatu yumufyashi mufyashi jo wasakamana abana mufyashi jo mutuntu kuke kwene wakutira wani magwe muntu watumbira na historioji wala support na kusupport okuti yo mushanja akupera akashaka kabunga akavola yoja ule support ebiri jonse amalaiti kuno tulesula amababa shop amasaluni amabucha ngali sala abantu abakuna media bena baleshita enjoy
salula
bale salula kwetu ila and then iwo wabula akabunga kozi ulefula akabunga waisa pamwera pati kireba bwino aidimuchita tekusuma mumwe cyalo panchi umuntu nga sector londoro ekilandeni kozi bubwata bukala twalira tetu umuntu chamalaiti abantu amazambia ni bawa amakapyonze naye pondane bakabashaka kompazeti nale bakabashaka kompazeti kozi amakapito abantu nayo naikandeni mule mutashatie biza wati ngana ni baufwenena beno kutamalaiti chendira mazambia ngale cyuma kapaji nemchashi vuma ma benefits shama zambiani eyo bakwata mukozi no mukipa hospital kapala banya mazambia ngavunya ku benefits shama laiti yo mushtisha mwakana tempya muleti kika matumba so bakanyani mu country no yaba kwa nyeni mubabo abantu bamubalyamu muine zambia mwamutaka tale kulula ka kokanani ka god ja parika matumba mwabula ba police mwaikata bani mwa wempya shama laiti kabisheko mutwazi itingitika tete kiyokuba aba bantu na bafirwa baleya balefwa ngtabalefuatile imeni muiba muikala sio kuma office muntu mele phone number imeni muikala kuma office nabankasha bona ufwa police nabakwatabo wombene to kiyo kwa baleya balabwera be kuma farm kuja kufintu bagwete experience ko bayekala bale bomba bachintu muntu mele phone natotela
chiswa mkwaiwara mpera number.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Kapambwe. Kapambwe, yes, that's right. And let me take another one. Good morning. Hello, good
morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Pat calling from Jalala.
Your name again?
Pat. P-A-T.
Okay, Pat. Welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I've been following the submissions being made by our colleagues on the panel.
Thank you.
And it appears they are blindfolded by the desire to take up leadership without a logical and plan in place of which what they are pronouncing to do when they get into power begs a lot of questions as to how they'll do it. Because, for instance, I had an example where they're saying, no, we are going to bring industries into the country. How do you bring industries into the country? Is it just to go on the market and just bring individuals come and put up industries in the country? Yet they are talking about externalization of money by these so-called investors. When they come to mine minerals here, they take the money out of the country. Now, in the days of my life, since 2021 to this day, I have seen a lot of movement in that direction to have industries being established in this country. We have been condemning the aspect of bringing foreign investors in their submission. Zambians are also able to see. Let's talk about industries such as Mungush, which was down. As we are speaking now, the machinery is in place. Who shall be running that industry? It is a foreign investor, but of course they will be bringing forex into the country. Our raw materials, such as cotton, will be processed there. They will not be exported raw as they are. They will be processed and be exported and bring in foreign currency. The point of industrialization, it cannot be foregone by any reasonable government. Let's talk about the lithium batteries. Let's talk about it. We have established already as a country, I'm aware, in Indola, in partnership with the another country, which is Congo, to ensure that we are able to process our lithium and have a final product and be able to have batteries, car batteries being made in this country. This is the way to go. So let us not be blindfolded by the desire just to speak and say, no, we are going to bring, this government is doing nothing. I don't think that would be, it's very fair on your part. Let us see. Let us appreciate where it is necessary and let us condemn where it is necessary and not just condemning everything. When you talk about electricity, there has been a lot of agreements which were signed before. Yeah, the force majeure issue, it's an issue which is a well-known fact that, there should be a clause in every contract that should there be such a situation, then the contract will be set aside and take up the most reasonable thing to do. So for those contracts where we have electricity being supplied to our neighbors and blah, 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 and us having problems, I want to put it to you that as we speak now, go around the communities in Lusaka, you will notice that there has been a lot of damages, theft on the installation for ESCO. Where I am here in Chalala, we've been reporting a lot of cases of vandalism. We've been wondering, why don't we have power? Only to be told, no. There was an installation which was damaged by the vandals. And that should be put to, a blame should be put on the government. I don't think that's the way it should be. So let us be reasonable in the manner in which we make submissions, and let us not just be blindfolded by the desire to lead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate that. Let me take one more, and then I can allow you to react on 0955-221515. That's the number that you are calling us on. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Bwino mwaka bwanji naimwe.
Bwino magesi muli bwanji.
Tiri bwino muli bwanji.
Tiri bwino.
Zikomo.
Ndire Sepiso, I'm calling from Gardena, sir.
Sepiso, please go ahead.
Yes. Ine kwamba kwanga bosi kamba bwino. Bachaina ona chikuru. Maona mwana pasira masanction munga Donald Trump kamba ti Africa mukare pamwe kamunga va inankani va EOC. Maona munga musonda somira. Anabu akamba pata kujara. Kachikongeri po government singa penzi kapati CFP po pani CN kapani kapa mwimo mjika pandi. but vanaita kwazo vanamutaira saka anowaza kuti uyu tikamuiseva formula tikambosevenza hezvi ise maamerican asowa business ucha muti vanaita kwanzi vana muyofya nonkarazi azaiti vamenesa vablacks namunotepa futi kuti zvive kuti kusevaja mastudent vaja vari vanaenda kuuniversity wakanti yosiyana kuti vabvire pakwezvire kuti economics kwezveri disatadera kuti uyu muti tikamunotepa akatitadzinga tisainganisani pasaita benefit family yake naye zvazaremera fatadzira zinditine mafu ndisina chivute kambiri muafrica iyi loko maleaders varipo manja problem veripo kototinango corruption iriko vakubva vachasani but kusapezeka tange tiripe maafrican leaders kuti youth voremera chikwatani ishwamenese mablacks mamverana dzesikwatani akaremera muzako saka mukafani kwiti kafani sataniki muzungu akaremera njeri zaka nabadoni chikwatani mindset ndetine maafrica tetichinje mindset iwangari ndisemanitoremera pati chikutoratedza kuvhutana chetekateka kamopeta pomuzungu ari akwira munhu muafrica ademera tiuza muzungu anabandira maza muafrica tokaita kuribe kuzapedza kuti azaenda munhu akazanga kana azaremera kuamerica pariko nivoremera pati munhu muafrica kuribe kwata tizinzira dzazikatika tiritexide mindset yati tikana pati mindset yati tichinje kuti vana vakugwera tipedze nati africa tiremere but ametitenga tari vanitiri variko vanandira but vayopa kuti vakangeneza mandirama food government iripo pandiki zavakongo iya muna bandrama zinoita chikwata mindset tina mafu so tetichinje tigwirizane kwatora kuti ndivino fishta bune vavutana batamachirenga tani kusagwirizana as long as tigwirizana mafu vina kamba tema gadasi vina kamba gadasi united foundation chingati muafrica tichimozi but tina bwira pointani awe azazimvera azaremera eka tani jerasi amene rapori aita jerasi ndari nimuzungu zabwera kumbari kwaine azaitsindirama nizatude kapanchipira iye vari kuti tishogoti tadindama tikafira tizakaita bwanja varanga futi mavuta zvazakabwerera kurira futi vazakabopaini timazara posivi vote zvezokamba tinakufura ikuti anagona fatani ezoita vinhu kwabwini but anamupaenda vamene mablacks vanhu vamozira mosi sakandemutabwani tinamugwisa kuja tamutamba fatani mindset yatetije mindset ndisanimarira muafrica kuti kushogora vana zakaboa adona tina mindset tedza yajerasi yopayana che yaibva kuti mutanga zaremira zankarabwina zanichira kuribe tingalete maleaders yabwanji pampando azonga tenda mwese kukabura pampando izabwa nizenda kuremera nizaichavanga kuribe azonga tani makulavani kuti tetigwirizane kwa position
thank you Asepiso thank you very much because of time thank you very much. Yes, and I think we got your point. Let's react. Maybe we'll start with Ambassador.
Okay, I'll respond to Pat from Chalala.
Right.
Thank you, my brother, for calling in and for your input. Citizens First is not investor averse. We are going to attract investors, but we are going to spell out the kind of investors we are going to bring in Zambia. Yes, we want partnerships with the Zambians. We know that innovation, science, and technology, and the technology transfer we talk about is a mindset. So we will need our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who have been exposed to advanced technology. But we also need these investors that have got the financing capacity and the technical know-how to bring it to Zambia. However, we are going to be in charge of the process. The investor will not come to Zambia without money. Tell me how much money has Macro Ocean Investment brought into Zambia for you to call them investors of the dual carriageway for Lusaka and Dola. They have gotten money from here. Our money from NAPSA. They have gotten our money from workers' compensation, and they are getting our money from our target. Is that the investor that you want to say we have got investors here? An investor comes with money, or if he comes with a technical know-how, we pay him for what he wants us to give to what the kind of technology is bringing to us. But we have surrendered our national assets to this investor because we have seen the investor and we say this investor is sacrosanct. We worship you, investor. We honor you, investor. We place the investor where God is. No. The investor is a person like you and I. An investor must come with his own money, not he comes to Zambia, then he goes to Zanaco to borrow money, and we call that person an investor. Why can't you do that? Why are the banks not giving Zambians money so that the Zambians can also be investors? So we are going to work with investors that mean well for Zambia, and the investors that will ensure that there will be a 50-50 win. Public-private partnerships entails that it's a win-win situation for the holders, I mean, the people that are holding the resources of Zambia on behalf of the Zambian people, and the one who comes. But obviously, the people who have entrusted our resources to are not, we can complain when we see that they are not pushing our agenda. Macro ocean, that one, it's not in the interest of a common Zambian. It's probably in the interest of a few people walking the corridors of power. And this same foreign investor, who so-called is not even a foreign investor, I don't want to call him that. So we are going to work with that. Then the other issue you raised, I think you talked about the industries, is it the
And
industry?
electricity as well.
Oh, you talked about the issue of electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you are talking about the Mulungushi textile reopening soon. You have not said it has reopened. Well, probably it's us who are going to open it in 2026 when we come into power. But even that needs a consistent supply of electricity. So how are the industries going to work in the UPND time where there's no power, there's no electricity? Nothing will function. And the people do not have money. There's no money in circulation. So how are we going to be buying the products of these things? Anyway, because for you and our friends in UPND, the market you create is outside market, not for the Zambian market. But it has to be the Zambian market first. When we are satisfied, then you externalize the rest.
I should think your party is still dwelling on the issue of this government making promises even when they are in government, because the UPND for 23 years is a party that made a lot of promises even during campaigns and everywhere. But when it came to come and deliver the promises, they have failed. For him, he's saying the government has done that much already. But I wouldn't agree with the party, because we are seeing what is happening in the country. I don't know the industries that you are referring to that this government has brought about. For me, what I'm seeing are just promises after the other promises. I'll refer you to one of the problems that this government has, especially with the workers who are working in the same some of the industries that have been brought about. Zach, there is a problem with the younger drivers. The younger drivers had come to our office,